Halftime TV, the most honest, objective, and exciting sporting commentary. In this Yuletide season, I would like to introduce Mr. Norando Brown, and this is me, Mr. Burris, joining you again. We have some very good topics to discuss this week, some excellent topics from 3 different types of sports. I will start with the Johan Blake versus Usain Bolt, and this has nothing to do with athletics directly because they are not running against each other anymore. Apparently, Johan Blake has indicated that his career was overshadowed by Usain Bolt and his accomplishments. Mr. Brown, what do you think about that? I have some issues with it, but I want to hear your take first on that particular issue.
All right, first of all, welcome back to all our viewers, all our subscribers. Thanks for support that you've given us over the past 4 or 5 months or so. And for those who are new, welcome to Halftime Television. Let me begin by saying Johan Blake and Usain Bolt, initially they were 2 peas in a pod to say the least. Usain Bolt, he is the greatest sprinter to have ever walked this earth. Johan Blake got really close to him, but he just didn't manifest into what we would have expected him to. I think as it relates to the comments that were made, they were taken out of context, and it is expected. A lot of persons are saying that Johan Blake shouldn't have said it because it is somewhat disrespectful to Usain Bolt, which I totally disagree, because personally I don't think he said anything wrong, but some persons naturally will extrapolate what they will from the statement and expound on that and take it all different ways. Now, if you read the article, you would have understood the angle from which he came. Basically, he's saying he was born in the wrong time, because had it been any other time, he would have been a top of the sport. But he was sadly born in the era that Usain Bolt was reigning, and it is understood. How it is perceived is the other thing, and a lot of persons just got a part of it, and they're like, okay, Usain Bolt overshadowed Johan Blake's career. That can be taken a million and one different ways, whereas I fully understand what he is saying.
You indicated that it could have been taken out of context, but from what I read in that article, I'm going to be honest here, Johan Blake is sounding like a bitter baby mama. He is sounding a bit hurt about the fact that he could not beat Usain Bolt. And I'll throw you back to 2012 when he was running against him in the 200 meters. For him to make that statement now, it's strange, because at that time, you know what he said? I am not fazed, and I quote him, I am not fazed by Usain Bolt. So how can you now come in 2019 and indicate that your career was overshadowed by Bolt? It seems like you were a bit hurt by the fact that you couldn't beat him. And it seems like he's blaming everyone. He blamed the fact that the era he was born in. He blamed the coach because he indicated Mr. Mills didn't allow him to run against Bolt in training enough. That is foolishness. He needs to blame himself. He needs to blame himself as to why he could not beat Bolt. Don't you think so?
Blaming himself would be a stretch, because a lot of what hindered him throughout his career is no fault of his.
If we put it in that context, yes, he had a lot of injuries.
And a lot of persons will say as well, Darius, that following Usain Bolt's retirement from the sport, it was Johan Blake's time to step up to the plate, and he hasn't given himself that credence as yet. And Usain Bolt has been out of the sport for a few years now.
2 years.
There you go. But I think what he said, he was born in the wrong time, basically, and that's the main takeaway that I got from the entire article that I read, because I think it was published first by the Jamaica Star or something like that, and then it came in the Gleaner or something. I'm not sure, but we have to understand that the Star is a tabloid newspaper, and it's for gossip and all those stuff, so it thrives on controversy. And I'm not here to bash any media outlet or anything of that sort. But just the headline, a lot of persons will just take the headline and run with it.
Mr. Brown,
go ahead.
Not to cut you off, did you see Usain Bolt's response though?
Yes, I did.
He left a cryptic message on his social media where he just put overshadowed, and I think he had some confused emojis. So also, If you are
it's
saying we
the
took it out
internet.
of context, is it that Bolt as well took it out of context? Because his reaction shows that he's confused by those comments by Johan Blake. Because I'm running with you all these years. You have never indicated to me you had any type of issue with me or my performance and your performance as opposed to mine. In that you felt like you probably would never meet the height that I would meet. So it seems like bad mind. I'm just being honest. It just sounds like bad mind to me. You could probably sugarcoat it all you want, but that is bare bad mind. If I have to speak like a Jamaican.
Say what you may, but I think that is it happens in sport, and if we turn a blind eye to it, we would be naive, because a lot. Say for instance, in basketball, in golf, a lot of really good sports persons have come up during the era. However, because there is a superstar, they go unnoticed. And we see, for example, at Barcelona, there is Lionel Messi. He's at top of his game. And there are a lot of other spectacular football players that came to Barcelona and didn't get the glow they would have loved because Lionel Messi is there. And so is it wrong then for Zlatan Ibrahimovic to say then he was overshadowed when he was at Barcelona?
No, it's not.
Exactly. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing we see here. So they may be with the same trainer at the time when both of them were at their peak. However, they don't necessarily have to be friends. They're professionals. They go there, they get their job done.
But need to understand they were very good friends. So now for this to come out in this manner, it's giving me the impression as if Johan Blake was probably not genuine with that friendship when he was there or when they were training together.
Well,
I can understand you looking
will
at
never
someone
know.
to push you. You're looking at this player who, not player, this Usain Bolt. I guess he's a galvanizing figure on his own. He's a character. And you know he would cast this wide net over you. Yes, he will cast a shadow because of his accomplishments and how great he was. But at the same time, you are his friend, and to come now, to give the impression as if he had
backtrack
some
a bit,
part to play in
Darius.
it.
Not to cut you, but backtrack a bit. Remember a few months ago, when there was an issue with a few of the athletes from the same track group, Usain Bolt came out and lashed out. Yeah, Usain Bolt.
I think that was July this year.
There you go. And Usain Bolt came out and he lashed out against a bunch of these players. And Johan Blake was among
them for leaving Mills.
And Johan Blake was among those as well.
Yes.
So I think for us to stand here and cast judgment on the situation there is it's foolhardy of us. And I read what I read in the article and I took what I took from it, but I don't see the big commotion there. Usain Bolt, he's using it as a marketing ploy, and in addition to that, he's releasing a rhythm. No, overshadow. I think they already have a bad mind.
Well, it's bad mind too. The second coming. Moving on, as you can see, Russia has been banned from all sporting events.
I think they were already banned from the Olympics because the last time
for doping.
Yeah. So it's the same thing. It's under the same umbrella. I think they, after participating in probably Euro, they can like appeal it, or they need to miss one of these tournaments, and that's the most I'm expecting. They will miss one and then they'll participate in one.
Would you say that was the right decision to ban all of Russia? Because there are some athletes that probably not doping. Is that fair to them? What do you think about that, Mr.
Well, the good has to suffer for the bad, and in this in this case, Russia is just on the wrong side of the spectrum.
So should we ban America then, because they have been known to be doping for years?
I didn't want to delve into that one.
We reach.
I was getting to that. Russia is on the wrong side of the spectrum because I am pretty sure that the pressure that the anti-doping committee is undergoing is coming from one particular nation, and I won't go too much.
It's Russia.
It is not
one of the other superpowers, and I mentioned them earlier. I would say it again. If it were the United States, do you think they would have banned them for the same period they would have banned Russia?
No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. Let me be frank with
it. Then there can't be double standards, I believe, in
sports. There is, and we can't act as if it isn't there, and we can't ignore it. There is, and it's just something that we have to live by. We have to just understand that that is the way it is, and we can speak out against it, and we can lobby against it as much as we would love to. However, it's there, and we just have to acknowledge it and accept it.
Speaking of double standards, I need to understand that the new events, as in the next Olympics and the Diamond League now, which is athletics, the gender equality is now, I guess, the trending topic. So they are bringing more women's events. I heard Johan Blake's take on it though in his interview, and I will quote it. He said he finds it stupid, given the fact that it's a men's sport. And I'm going to repeat this, the ladies who are watching may not agree, but he said the men are stronger, let them run. I would agree that men watch more sports, so why is it that you would take away sports from the people that spectate it? That they are the most spectators for sports, men. They are there to watch men paying attention to that. It's not like women pay attention to sports. So what is all this, I guess, rush or this idea that you need to do so much regarding women in sports? What do you think about that?
I agree fully with what you're saying. Men invest a lot of time, effort, and money in sports, and it's just a dumb idea. I fully concur with Johan Blake.
I think they took away the 200 meters from the Diamond League.
Yeah, so men
that's
won't
an
run.
Event that a lot of people pay attention to, men in particularly. But I guess they just find that women need a bigger piece of the pie. So I don't know.
The backstretch wasn't necessary anymore.
Clearly. There are comparisons being made between Anthony Davis, the Anthony Davis-LeBron James duo, to the Kobe Bryant and Shaq duo. What do you think about that comparison? Of course, we are going right now, and we don't want to be prisoners of the moment. And of course, the argument can be made that one won 3 championships and they haven't won any yet. But we are speaking just statistically from the eye test. What do you think about
from the eye test?
That particular duo versus the Shaq Kobe duo of the early 2000s, that 3 people?
I prefer Shaq Kobe. In probably the list of the top 3, I'll probably have them third. That I can remember. I think Magic Johnson.
The duo? Wow,
yeah. Because I think there's Wesley and there's West and someone else, and then there's Abdul Jabbar and Magic Johnson, and
so
then
you have Jordan and Pippen anywhere there?
No, for the Lakers.
Okay, for the Lakers.
For the Lakers,
that's what was going in the
No.
Okay.
For the Lakers. So there's some way down the line, but as far as comparisons go, I think it's still too early. They started off well, but I need to see throughout the season. It's not far-fetched though, because both sets possess similar traits. They're getting the job done, but the game has revolutionized, and we're seeing it in today's age, where we need to ask ourselves: would Anthony Davis and LeBron James do well against the defense that Shaq and Kobe were up against?
That's not fair, Mr. Brown.
Hold on. But if we're making comparisons,
can
then
they go back in time?
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Hold on.
Keep comparing a generation to another one.
Then how do we compare? How do we compare Lionel Messi to Maradona? How do we compare?
Of course,
statistics. There you go. And statistics. That's what I'm saying. So hold on. Before you go into the statistics, a lot of persons they're statistics analysts, and they just watch this or go on the internet and see. There you go. So they just go on the internet and they see statistics, and then they're gonna say, okay, this person is better than this person. This person is better than this person. I will make a football reference. Kovacic has had the greatest take on percentage this season. I think he's 80% or 80+ percentage take on percentage. And Lionel Messi is 5th on that list. Are you gonna tell me that based on your eye test, Kovacic is a better dribbler than Lionel Messi? No.
Not.
There you go. So as I said, we
although that wasn't a fair analogy.
Hold on. No, I mentioned it in the last. I mentioned it in the last video that we did, that a lot of persons use different merits. And it's the same thing that we go down to in this analysis. And as I said, both pairs possess similar traits. I need to see them throughout the season. and then I will say, okay, then Kobe and Shaq were better, or LeBron and AD were better. But for now, I think AD and LeBron, they have some way to go to get to Shaq and Kobe.
I just want to educate you a little bit, Mr. Brown, on just a little statistical information here that would open your eyes a bit. Kobe and Shaq, I compiled some information here from the championship years. So Kobe was between 21 and 24 that period, Shaq 28 to 31. That was in the Lakers strictly. Kobe averaged 25.7 points per game, 5.8 rebounds, 5 assists. Shaq, we know he was a dominant force. He was the most dominant force in the NBA at that time. 28.7 points per game, 14 rebounds, 3 assists. Compared to LeBron and Anthony Davis as of right now. Let me rattle off these stats for you. I'm going with LeBron first. 25 points per game. Now, Kobe was 25.7, so you see the closeness there already. LeBron, however,
the closest hold on, not to cut you. The closest in statistics, especially with the scoring, is down to what I mentioned before, the revolution of the game. Because now a lot of players, even average players, are racking up better numbers as it relates to shooting.
Scores most of his points in the paint, and he actually improved his 3-point shot this year. He improved his 3-point shot. I think it's 38%. I think he is now. He was around career 36%.
Okay, continue. I'm listening.
Yes, 25 points per game, 7 rebounds, 10.8 assists. That is his highest assist total for his career. That's the highest he has been for the season. Anthony Davis currently 27.2 points per game. Now, mind you, I said Shaq was 28.7, and these are championship. These championship years for Shaq versus the current Anthony Davis. And
what's Anthony?
Points per game.
What's his 3-point percentage? What's his 3-point percentage?
Well, he doesn't really shoot 3-pointers because he's a center. When you look at the similarity in the two duos, LeBron plays most of his game outside or in the mid-range, similar to Kobe. And Anthony Davis plays most of his game in the center. And just like Shaq was a center, his assists was 3.4, Shaq was 3. Rebounds 9.2, of course, Shaq blew him out the water with that, which is 14 rebounds. So when you look at it, they are on course, though, to equal similar stats that these two had when they three-peated with the Lakers. The only problem I have here, now, of course, there was a 7-year difference between Kobe and Shaq. It's just that they got together when they were younger. They were still in their 20s. The problem is LeBron is 34 and Anthony Davis is 26. Three-peating with a 30... I guess if he wins the third one, he would be 37. I am not certain. While he's looking extremely good, I don't want to say he probably taking steroids.
But you're not sure he has 3 more seasons in it.
I am not certain he would look like that at 37 years old, playing at that level.
I agree.
But I believe they are on course to probably win the championship if they can stay healthy, of course. Which is why
we had this discussion.
Might be making these comparisons.
Darius, we had this discussion at the beginning of our show. We discussed Anthony Davis and LeBron James. If they can stay healthy, it was already concluded.
This is the comparison.
Hold on, no, but you're talking about the championship now, and I'm saying we discussed it, saying okay, this is by some distance the best duo in the league, and if they can stay fit,
by some distance.
Who's the closest to them? Who do you think?
I honestly believe when Paul George and Kawhi Leonard really build that chemistry.
Yeah, but it hasn't been built as yet.
But of course, it's still...
It's two good players. It's 2 good players and a team, but the chemistry isn't there. They haven't gelled enough as yet. So
LeBron and Anthony Davis straight out the blocks, they have been gelled.
Right.
LeBron has served him 55 assists. I think that's the highest between any duo.
I was just going to get to that because I've seen so far this season LeBron James step back a bit and allowed Anthony Davis to be the star.
Correct.
And he's doing everything.
You can see it.
Exactly. And he's doing everything to ensure that the spotlight stays on Anthony Davis. I remember one game I watched earlier this season. He was basically in his half for most of the game. He stayed there. He ensured that exactly, and he chipping in with the blocks, and all of that, defending, ensuring that Anthony Davis gets the ball on the other side of the court. So it's good to see. It's good to see that superstars can propel youngsters as well. Well, Anthony Davis not so young, but you get the idea. And lift him up on a pedestal and put him there and ensure that he stays there. So, as I said, so far, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, you're on the right track. Whether LeBron James will make it.
MVP numbers right now, 2 of them in the race. I used to tell him.
Along with the reigning halftime cup holder. A lot of persons have been talking about Manchester City and Liverpool this season. Considering these are the two big name teams in the English Premier League, they have spent a vast amount of money throughout the years. Liverpool not so much as Manchester City, but they have been consistently good for the past 2 seasons, and they were the ones challenging last season. And going into this season, or coming into this season, I should say, a lot of persons were anticipating that it would be a neck-and-neck tie between both teams. Liverpool FC and Manchester City. However, there is one Leicester City being coached by former Liverpool coach Brendan Rodgers that's been kicking up a storm. As a matter of fact, their striker Jamie Vardy has now scored in 8 consecutive games.
14 goals so far.
He's the first player to do it since Jamie Vardy. Darius, I'll have your take on that, and then I'll provide you with my viewpoint.
If they are genuine title contenders, you ask?
Are Leicester City genuine title contenders?
Well, on current form, I will say yes, but let us not be prisoners of the moment, Mr. Brown. I looked at Leicester City's squad from top to bottom. I analyzed it, of course, to the best of my ability. And I saw something that was pretty glaring. I saw Tillemans, I looked at NDD, looked at Jamie Vardy. I looked at the defense, of course, Suyunku and Chilwell. Now, I don't think Leicester City can afford an injury to any 2 of these players at any point, because it would hamper their chances of challenging, even in the later half of the season, even staying in the top 4, I believe, if any 2 out of those players are injured. As of right now, we always talk about the healthy argument. If they can remain healthy, I believe they can genuinely be a title threat, because Brendan Rodgers is an excellent coach. And he has these players playing a lovely brand of football. But the injury bug always hits at some time. They have been pretty lucky. They have been lucky and not had any injuries, but I am not seeing much squad rotation, Mr. Brown. That's a dangerous prospect.
Not to cut you, but do you think this squad of players is better than the one that won it with Claudio Ranieri?
If I think it's better?
Yeah.
This squad of players...
This current Leicester squad.
It is better. From top to bottom, technical ability. The names I rattled off, I don't think that the Leicester City of old had such players, because all we could remember, we will remember the defenders, which was mainly Wes Morgan. Of course, Kasper Schmeichel is still there. They had Mahrez, they had Kante, they had Vardy, and then they had a lot of supplemental players around them. But at any given point, besides Vardy, when Vardy doesn't step up, there's Perez. We have Maddison. Oh, I forgot to mention him as an injury threat as well. We have NDD. We have any one of these players. We have Tillemans. They can step up and win a game for you. And we have Iheanacho off the bench. But as I said, any 2 of those main players going down, the substitutes are not at the level required to give them that title push. That is my opinion on that. So, barring any unforeseen circumstances and injury, I think they can give a push. They may not win, but they will push Liverpool. If not, I don't see them. I see them probably ending up in the top 4, but not even second.
Okay. All right. I think they're playing far better than Manchester City, and they will give Liverpool a better run for their money than Manchester City. That's my viewpoint. I think they got Soyuncu for a bargain. I think he's better than Maguire. I know you'll debate that, but I know you'll debate that, but I think he's a better. I think he's a better player than Maguire. I'll leave you to think on that, but or maybe when it gets to the weekend, you can watch him. I think Liverpool and Leicester City, there's a game coming up soon as well. So Leicester City under Brendan Rodgers, January is just around the corner. They maybe need 2 players and then they should be okay. Because if we pay keen attention to that title-winning team, there wasn't much rotation in there as well. And
they have been lucky at all.
Right.
They somehow get very lucky with these injuries.
And the type of football they play as well, it doesn't allow for some injuries that other
they play a very high intensity football.
High intensity one touch football though. So it makes it somewhat easier for the players as well. So because they don't have to invest too much effort in it, rather than good positioning and just getting the ball moving all the time. So even with Brendan Rodgers at Liverpool, we saw like very few players in that season got injured, and he did little rotation. It's the same thing. So Leicester City under Brendan Rodgers in January, 2 players, maybe fringe players. Because right now, as of now, I don't see anyone that I'd take out of that team. I think
you can't replace any of those first team with anybody on the bench.
I think Pereira was a steal. Chaudhry coming off the bench is really good. Gray coming off the bench is really good as well. They have quite Barnes coming off the bench, another good player. So these
players are okay, but I wouldn't say they are match winners. And sometimes you need a match winner coming off the bench, or you need someone of equal quality as to the starting player coming off the bench. And I'm not sure they have that, but it's a squad you're building after all. So I guess I can't be so nitpicky with it then.
Yeah, because the youngsters that are coming off the bench, those 3 that I named, plus Iheanacho, is not a bad bench to have. And a lot of teams, I think in the Premier League would really do well with a bench like Leicester's.
All right.
Go ahead.
Just for argument's sake, if Jamie Vardy was to be injured in the morning, do you think that Leicester City team would continue to push its pushing? I honestly think that will change the dynamic.
If Jamie Vardy gets injured in the morning, I think Iheanacho can hold his own and he can get you goals.
He can lead the line, but can he give you what Vardy gives you?
You have to understand that teams adjust to players' strength, right? Especially the teams in the English Premier League, and we see it week in, week out. Depending on the player who's playing up front, the style of play changes. We've seen it with Manchester United. When it was with Ibrahimovic Zlatan, it was different from now it's with Rashford. We've seen it with Manchester City. When it's with Aguero, it's different from when it's with Jesus. So it's the same. Yeah. It's the same thing over at Leicester. We don't expect them to be playing the same way because Iheanacho won't give you as much energy in the front. He doesn't have that much pace as Jamie Vardy. So as I said, you play to your striker's strength, and it should go a far way for you. And I think Brendan Rodgers is smart enough to figure that out.
What's your take? Do you think they are title contenders? I said I don't think so.
I think if Liverpool are to slip up this season, it will be at the hands of Leicester. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Because the game they played earlier this season, had it not been for...
we saw a phantom foul. Resulting in a dubious penalty being awarded.
And we discussed it at length.
With the help of VAR to Sadio Mane.
So I won't delve too much in that again. I think we've gotten over that hurdle. Right. And had it not been for that particular situation, who knows? Maybe Leicester would have been the only team to have beaten Liverpool in the English Premier League.
Don't forget, Manchester United had them up until about the 86th minute. I realize you're not really pointing out the greatness of what my team accomplished that day, but anyhow, you accomplished
a draw against Liverpool, and you're telling me to
point. Did Leicester accomplish?
No, that's I did not. Did I said had it not been for that contentious decision, maybe the results would have been different on the day. You're saying no, that I should be. I should.
Give me the praise. The requisite praise could be given you. Okay. Do that.
Okay.
That, Mr. Brown.
Okay. Had it not been for a lapse in concentration on the part of Manchester United, they would have been the only team to have beaten Liverpool this season.
I'll take that. I'll take that, Mr. Brown. take that. That's a lovely Christmas gift to give me today. And I think on that note, we can end this week's show. People, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment to Halftime TV. Mr. Brown, any closing statements you'd like to make?
All right. Yeah. Please remember the link in the description. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for the support you've given us throughout the past few months. As I said again, we're up to 150 plus subscribers and
almost 300 on the Facebook page.
There you go. So for all those that have been engaging on the Facebook page and in the comment section, we really appreciate it. And thanks again for the support. We're looking forward to a wonderful year ahead with you guys, the Halftime Family.